Today in Cringila we did this. It's amazing, isn't it? First time ever something like that has been distributed. This suburb has the highest percentage of Macedonian people in Australia. First time someone has ever distributed a political leaflet in the language that many people here read. Why don't they do it? Because they don't think they need to. Why don't, for instance, I also spoke to a gentleman from Gabon. He's a refugee. He's living in Cringila. We have a big refugee population here. And of course, he can't vote. He's not a citizen here. But that doesn't stop us. We still talk to people. And he wanted to know how he could become a citizen. He's been in Australia since 2009. Wouldn't you think the local member might have, just might have, on his drive from his office in Dapto through to where he lives in Gwynville, he doesn't live in the electorate, he might have just stopped off to explain to the gentleman from Gabon how you become a citizen. We managed to get the addresses of refugees in this suburb. It's not hard, it's not a secret. Wouldn't you think the local member might have done that as part of his responsibilities and obligations? Well, they think they don't have to do a thing, basically, in this part of the electorate. Because they use the most insulting phrase you've ever heard, rusted on. Our slogan is very simple. Put your principles first and the Labor Party last. And I was asked by a fairly shocked ABC journalist this morning, oh, you're going to give your preferences to the Labor Party. Well, no, I'm not. They're going to be put last because that's the way to create the greatest damage to the Australian Labor Party. I make no bones about this. It's not about personal antagonism. This is about voting strategically and voting effectively. They will not learn a lesson until this seat becomes a marginal, swinging, contested seat. The only way that's going to happen is through a genuine independent. Not a fake independent like they ran in council elections where I'm supposed to be giving my second preference as the Labor Party. Well, that would simply mean a vote for Stephen Jones. So we're not going to do that. We're not corrupt. And don't start me on the corruption of the Labor Party. Graham's was too modest. The Women Against Corruption was formed in his living room, actually. And it's a corrupt party. It won't be cleansed and it won't be improved until they go into the wilderness of which they have to do. Because they still deny they're corrupt. Anthony Albanese is on the front page of the paper today saying, oh, I'm only having a beer. Oh, really, Anthony? So what we're doing is something that no one's done before. No one's challenged the Labor Party in their heartland like this. They won't like it. First of all, we often use this, but happened again. He said, first of all, they ignore you. That's what they were doing. Then he said they laugh at you. He said, and then they fight you. And then he said, and then you beat them. So this, I can only say that even in this morning talking to people, the people that they have ignored for so long are sick of it. They really are. It's not going to say they're all going to vote for us. Maybe not, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But the fact is they appreciate the opportunity to make a choice. And if that's all we do, then we've done something very worthwhile. We have 4 weeks to really go hell for leather on this. After the 4 weeks, we can all rest and we can all say, well, thank God that was over or whatever. But it's 4 weeks, that's all. And it's a great opportunity. And believe me, people are watching what we're doing. They really are. The Liberal Party's watching, we know. ASIC is watching us, we know. And I can assure you the Labor Party's watching us too. We're getting momentum. There are more people joining us every day. People who we never imagined would give us support. That's the main thing in politics, this momentum. If you keep getting stronger every day, you're winning in every way you can win. So, just wanted to, as I said, thank you all so much. Bearing in mind, I'm running, not for myself, please. This is probably the last thing I thought I'd do. But I'm running because, like you and so many people out here, I'm fed up with the corruption. Where so many people are fed up with being ignored because they're taken for granted. People are fed up with the lies. There's lies again being spread today. They're fed up with the circus which passes for politics today, where you've got a local member supposedly opening a sporting complex in Dapto. I was asked on Win TV, what do you think of that? I said, big deal. There are people here desperate for work. There are people working in that steel industry who are concerned about their future next year, and he's opening a sporting field. That's the nature of the politics here. It's about a bit of show, making a little bit of an effort before the election. Bearing in mind, we got, he said, in Throsby, almost $2 million in the last budget. Almost $2 million. The more work we do and the harder we go, I'm sure we're going to see the result. But whatever we do, one thing is for sure. Politics has now changed in this region. It will never go back to the way it was. Because Graham said was right. When this election finishes, that office will stay here. The man from Gabon will get his information. People will follow up to make sure he's helped to become a citizen. These things will go on every day. But never again will they be able to ignore this region. And never again will they be able to ignore people like you in situations like you found yourself. If that's the one lesson that we can give the Labor Party, from my point of view, from all the effort and the time we're going to spend, it's going to be worth it. And one final thing. There is a bit of a report to come after this about what happened in ASIC, but I've never promised people anything. But I'm even more convinced you'll get your compensation. Thanks. Because I tell you what, the chances are, if Labor gets re-elected, they'll just scrape in. It'll be another unstable government, maybe of coalitions with independents. If the Liberals win, the chances are there could be a double dissolution because the Liberal Party won't control the Senate and that they have an agenda of a number of changes which they'll need control of the Senate. They may go for a double dissolution. We could be in another election, heaven forbid, in 9 months' time. But wouldn't that, if we have to do it, wouldn't that be great if we have a base of a significant vote and we go again? So no one's saying this is going to be easy or it's all over or we're just about to win it or whatever. But we're getting to a point where we're being taken notice of, where they have to listen to you. And I believe that whatever happens in the election, you'll get your compensation. That's not a promise, I can't promise that. But that's only my assessment. You'll get it. But you won't get it easily. They won't give it to you. You'll have to go and fight for it. Thanks a lot.